top secret, powered by nuclear reactors, loaded with 600 ballistic missiles.
The year is 1959. The Cold War is freezing over.
Soviet nukes could hit America in 30 minutes. We needed a closer launch pad.
So the Army Corps of Engineers went to Greenland. Their mission? Impossible.
They called it Camp Century. The cover story? Polar science research.
But inside the ice, they built a miracle. Hot showers, a cinema, a church.
Powering it all was the PM-2A, the world's first mobile nuclear generator. Camp Century was just the lobby. The real project was deeper. Codename, Iceworm. But the engineers forgot one thing. The ice was moving. They planned a tunnel network spanning 52,000 square miles, 3 times the size of Denmark.
200 soldiers lived beneath the surface. They called it the city under the ice.
From here, 600 missiles could strike the Soviet Union deeper than ever before.
Railway tracks ran through the glacier. Trains carried nuclear payloads in total, freezing secrecy. But heat is the enemy of ice. The reactor's warmth began to warp the trench walls. Tunnels shrank, floors buckled. The glacier was slowly digesting the entire base alive.
Engineers predicted the ice moved inches a year. They were wrong. It moved feet. Teams worked around the clock, shaving back the crushing walls. It was a losing battle.
If the reactor room collapsed, a nuclear disaster would poison the Arctic forever.
So they fled. But they left something massive behind, something that is now surfacing.
They didn't pack everything. They left behind thousands of gallons of sewage and radioactive water.
They buried the poison deep. They thought the glacier would freeze it forever.
The plan was simple. Let the eternal snow bury the toxic secret, out of sight.
1967. The lights went out. The base was sealed. Forgotten.
Decades passed. The Cold War ended. The ice kept its dirty secret.
But then, the world changed. Temperatures rose. The Arctic began to sweat. NASA satellites saw it first. The ice sheet is thinning. The shield is disappearing.
Meltwater is cutting deep channels. It is digging down toward the buried city.
Scientists looked down with radar. They found the tunnels. And the poison is still there. The freezer is broken, and the toxic bomb is about to leak.
It starts microscopically. Polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, a cancer-causing oil.
The meltwater carries this toxic soup downhill, faster and faster.
Gravity pulls the poison west, straight toward the pristine waters of the Atlantic Ocean. When the ice breaks, the chemicals are released. Invisible, silent, deadly. Once in the ocean, it doesn't disappear. It spreads. Ocean currents act like a conveyor belt, distributing the waste to Canada, to Europe.
Scientists call it a time bomb. It enters the plankton, then the fish, then us.
The top predators suffer the most. The toxicity concentrates as it moves up the chain. Who cleans it up? The US, who built it? Or Denmark, who owns the land?
But here is the twist. The Danish government didn't know the nukes were there.
Denmark had a strict policy. 0 nuclear weapons on their sovereign territory. Period. But the Pentagon didn't care. They brought the warheads anyway, under the cloak of science.
It was a double game. Copenhagen looked the other way.
Washington kept its mouth shut.
For decades, it was the perfect crime. No one asked what was in the tunnels.
But in 1995, the truth leaked. The Danish public was furious.
The scandal exploded. Thulgate. A betrayal of trust between allies.
Now comes the hard part. Who pays to clean up the mess? America or Denmark?
The cleanup bill is $300 million, and nobody wants to sign the check.
Nature has set a deadline, and we are running out of time.
Glaciologists drilled deep cores to predict the future. The data was terrifying.
Studies pinpoint the year 2090. The ice cap will vanish. The base will be exposed.
Down below, the tunnels are becoming underground rivers, mixing with the waste.
It is a toxic cocktail. 200,000 liters of diesel fuel. So the decision was made to wait. To gamble with nature.
But nature is winning. And the first warning signs have already washed ashore.
For the Inuit people living here, this isn't a computer model. It is their backyard.
Generations of hunters know this ice. They see the sickness spreading in the water.
The village of Qaanaaq is just 150 miles from the toxic tomb. Locals report strange tumors in the fish. The water tastes metallic.
The Americans came, dug their holes, and left. The locals inherit the poison.
An entire culture is under siege, not by an army, but by melting waste.
They demand answers. But Washington and Copenhagen are still pointing fingers.
Modern navies are returning to the north. They want control of the new ocean.
But at the negotiating table, silence.
Then, a new report surfaced. The timeline is wrong. The breach is imminent. Project Iceworm was a Cold War fantasy. It failed. It was buried.
But the waste is not a fantasy. It is real. And it is waking up. Pollution respects no borders. What leaks here poisons the world. We built a city under the ice. Now, the ice is evicting us. This was the secret city under the ice. A monument to human hubris.
For more hidden history declassified, subscribe now. History is watching.